A little over 100 years ago, virtually all beer was draft beer. Today, nearly 90% of the beer consumed in the U.S. is packaged in cans or bottles. But at Boulevard, since close to half of our beer goes into kegs to be poured in restaurants and taverns, we'll start with our kegging or racking operation. Here's our German-designed keg line hard at work. Kegs are automatically emptied, thoroughly cleaned, rinsed, steam sterilized, and filled, then transported to a cooler in our warehouse. Bottling is a much more involved process, but before we take you in for a closer look, we should first explain a bit about the four principal enemies of beer: light, oxygen, time, and temperature. At Boulevard, we use brown bottles because they block out light that can react with hop compounds to produce skunky beer. Oxygen can make beer taste stale, so we bottle condition our beers and use filling equipment that minimizes the amount of oxygen trapped in the headspace of the bottles. Heat can dramatically accelerate the aging process, so we store our beer in a temperature-controlled warehouse and require that our distributors do the same. And because we want to be sure you're buying only fresh Boulevard beer, we mark our packages and bottles with a best by date. And now, onto our bottling line, installed in late 2008. This depalletizer loads empty bottles onto a conveyor, one layer at a time. The bottles are gradually reduced to a single file before heading upstairs to the bottling hall. At the first station, every bottle is rinsed, filled, and crowned. The bottles then travel down a conveyor, drying along the way, before passing through this labeler, where body and neck labels are affixed. Then it's on to the case packer, where bottles are loaded into 4, 6, 12, or 20-pack cartons. The cartons are grouped together into a full case and make their way back downstairs to be palletized and prepared for transport.
First bottling line came from Germany. It came with a good set of instructions and a great set of pictures. It was all in German, though. To get the beer into the bottles was not that difficult, but getting a cap on the bottle was very hard enough that we named the capper the crusher.
Back then, 80 bottles a minute we thought was setting the world on fire. Now, today, we can run up to 500 bottles a minute. It is an unbelievable rate of speed for us.
At Boulevard, there's one more very special extra step, something that few breweries do. It's called bottle conditioning. Just before bottling, we add a small quantity of yeast and sugar to our ales to produce a secondary fermentation in the bottle.
People in the know think that we are absolutely crazy for bottle conditioning. Bottle conditioning is more expensive, and that's why most people don't do it. But at the end of the day, that secondary fermentation gives you a better tasting beer for a longer period of time. And so that's one thing that I'm really proud about working here is that, you know, it's not the easy way, it's the better way.
During bottle conditioning, much of the residual oxygen in the headspace is consumed, giving the beer superior stability and shelf life, while adding remarkable complexity and depth of flavor. Though it takes 2 weeks for the process to unfold, we think it's worth the wait. But before we send any beer out the door, we put each and every batch through a rigorous quality assurance regimen, culminating in the daily convening of our expert tasting panel. Yes, it's difficult, demanding work, requiring a high level of skill and an unwavering devotion to duty, but somebody's got to do it. Once approved for release, distributors converge on our warehouse to pick up Boulevard beers for delivery to retail establishments throughout the Midwest and beyond. We hope you've enjoyed your tour of Boulevard Brewing Company.
From all of us to all of you, here's to a great glass of beer.
Cheers!